closed captioning provided by Beaufort County.
Welcome to another edition of Coastline, and today we're talking parks and recreation. I'm joined by Shannon Loper, who is actually the director of the Beaufort County Parks and Recreation Department. We were originally supposed to have Matt Watts, but believe it or not, he got snowed in North Carolina. So I think we're better off with you, Shannon.
Thank you. I'd much rather him be here, but I will take his place.
All right. Well, I'm so excited to hear that there are lots of things on your plate right now. You're in the middle of budgeting and you're working on a master plan. And one of the things that we want to promote today is the Lynn Brown Recreation Center in Beaufort. So let's go ahead and start with that. Tell me a little bit about what this center is and what your plans and hopes are for it.
So we haven't used the center in a few years. We had rented it out to Bridges School. We have since COVID, we had planned on taking it back and doing activities there. And of course, with everything else, COVID slowed that down. So we got there was a community group that came to us and encouraged us to please get it open and back to the public. So what we've done is we've always used it for basketball and we'll continue to use it for our basketball programs. But now we've got it open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's open from 11 to 7. We've already got a cardio room set up off of the gym. We have ordered $30,000 worth of workout equipment for a weight room where we had the wall taken out and a big room opened up for weights. And then we have a women's workout room with exercise machines that are designed just for women. So we're going to have all of that going on. We'll also have open pickleball. If people want to come in and play pickleball indoors, we'll have that. We have a curtain that divides the basketball court. So they could play two different games, or if one person wanted to play basketball on half the court and one person wanted, or a few people wanted to play pickleball on the other half, it's available for that. So
yeah, pickleball is the new up-and-coming sport in America. A lot of retirees that they're finding, they don't have the stamina to do tennis. Pickleball's a lot easier. I guess the racket is actually wood with holes in it, and you use kind of a wiffle ball type arrangement there. So, however, I read an article a few weeks back about your Lynn Brown Center, and one of the folks that was really trying to get this thing going, Bob Mullins, and I guess in his article he said, if you place the wiffle ball just right, you can have somebody really running all over the court. So it sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like you made the right decision there in trying to please both the basketball players and the pickleball players by having both still available at the center. Now, was the center formerly known as the Green Street Gym? Is that the building I'm thinking about?
It is, and some people still refer to it as the Green Street Gym.
So where exactly is it located?
It's on Hamar Street, so it's across from the National Cemetery.
Okay. And is there a pool there?
There is. We have our outdoor pool there that is extremely busy. It's open from Memorial Day to Labor Day each year. And we started before COVID. We didn't get to do it during COVID last year, but we did this year. So what we do at the end of the season is we actually have a dog day. So when we close down to the public on Labor Day the following weekend, we invite everyone to bring their dogs to swim. So, we're trying to add extra activities where we can.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So aside from the basketball and the pickleball, you mentioned that you're now bringing in $30,000 worth of weightlifting equipment, and that's also gaining popularity these days as people are finding that it's easier to get fit and lose weight and get toned by using heavy weights rather than by running and doing cardio. But there's the safety factor there. Have you got somebody that's going to be able to help people along and develop a routine for them?
So we hired a full-time staff member that'll do the check-ins, but he's also a certified personal trainer. So anyone that, has questions or needs questions asked, he'll be more than happy to help out. It's not only is it just lifting weights, but it's exercise equipment as well. So it's the same equipment that we have at our Burton Wells and our Buckwalter location in Bluffton. Same name brand and everything. So I think that people, with it being more centrally located versus Burton Wells, I'm hoping that people will get out there and use it more. We have our memberships. We sell daily. Seniors is $1, regular is $2. Of course, any child that's still in school is always free. And then we do our weekly, our monthly, and our yearly membership. So, if you want to join for the year, as a senior, it's only $75 and it's $90, for just a regular. Of course, you need to be a taxpayer because it's money, that we're using out of our tax funds to fund the equipment. But we do sell out of county and out of state if somebody wants to drop in and use it.
Well, by that yearly price of $75, you're actually beating some of the commercial gyms, and you've got almost everything they have to offer.
We do. The board set the prices for that. They did it as basically if you buy 9 months, you get 3 free.
Okay.
So
Cool. And you did mention the Bluffton gym. I mean, the Bluffton facility is like the crown jewel of Parks and Recreation, isn't it?
it is. It's not actually the Lynn Brown weight room is actually going to be a lot larger than the Buckwalter weight room. The only thing that we have there is we have our indoor batting cages and we have our indoor track at Buckwalter. A lot of people don't understand. They feel like that we slighted them in northern Beaufort County, but a lot of people don't understand that when these facilities are built or have been built over the last few years, they're built with impact fees. So it's not built through your tax dollars, it's built through your impact fees. And so Bluffton has just brought in so much money in impact fees because of the large amount of development that's why we've had the money over there to do more. So we're not trying to slight anyone, in northern Beaufort County.
Sure.
It's just the impact fees
and
aren't
plus
coming
you don't
in
really
as fast.
have room at the Lynn Brown Center to add a batting cages.
We don't, but we do have it. We do have that in our master plan for Burton Wells. We have in there to add on another gym and some batting cages and storage. So hopefully, at some point that we will get some money or some impact fees that we can do that.
Okay, we'll talk about that master plan in a few minutes, but about the Burton Wells facility, what do you think can be done? You indicated that it's not as well used as you would like it to be. What do you think could be done to make it more attractive to have people come from, well, you probably have people coming from Habersham.
We do. We have people that come from that area. I think a lot of it is just that it's so far out of the way is where a lot of the struggle is. We are looking at programming. We've had people that, I had someone just reach out to me this weekend and ask about yoga classes and Zumba classes and stuff like that. We do most of our classes through what we call 70-30 programs. And so we contract them out with someone. And if somebody comes in and they want to teach a class, we give them 70%, we keep 30%. But we do all the advertising and we take in all the registration, and then at the end of the month we send them a check for the amount of patrons that's coming in. So it's a really good deal for them because they have no overhead. They don't have to market, they don't have to collect the money, they don't have to do anything but get a check at the end of the month. Hopefully some people will come forward in the Beaufort area that would like to teach classes because, we would like to have classes in northern Beaufort County as well. We just need the contract instructors to come forward.
Do you have some examples of this taking place at any of your facilities?
Yeah, so we have at Buckwalter, we have 2 Zumba classes and 1 yoga class. We have one that's geared towards seniors and one that's not. And then we have a yoga class, and the instructors come in, they set their days, they set their price. We don't do anything, we don't do any of that. We don't tell them what they have to charge. But they come in, and we have one that comes in the morning, one that comes in at the evening, and then different days of the week. So if we could get things like that, or have contract instructors that come forward, either in, Burton Wells or Lynn Brown, we would welcome them to have classes. We just don't have staff that's certified to teach those classes, so we rely on the public to come, and do that kind of stuff.
And I imagine, the one individual that you've got who's certified as a personal fitness trainer, he probably doesn't have time to do all of the, requests that people might have to be, a quote-unquote personal fitness trainer. So there might be a good opportunity for somebody to help in that area as well.
Yeah, and he's actually, we've talked about that. So with the gym opening, Lynn Brown not opening until 11 and closing at 7, we've actually talked about him offering classes in the morning from 9 to 11, or 7 to 9 in the evenings, if someone wants to come in, and he could do a 70-30 program and do personal training on the side. So we have actually talked about that, and we're in the process of working on a contract with him for that.
Okay, great. So you think he can help me lose my COVID-19?
He probably could.
All right, I'll check it out. And again, this is one of 3 facilities that fall under your purview. What else is part of Parks and Recreation? You used to be called PALS, right?
We did. We were Parks and Leisure, but there's not a whole lot of leisure that goes on in the recreation world.
Yeah.
So when Matt started with us, that was one of the things that he came forward and asked that we could change, and be known as Parks and Recreation, because he really wanted to get the word recreation out there. With all the sports that we do, we've added on, to our sports. We do adult volleyball now. We do adult baseball here in Beaufort now. We do lacrosse. We've started a senior softball program. So, we're now, this year, we have a huge kickball following. Northern Beaufort County has a group that does kickball, and so Southern Beaufort County had a group that started kickball, and they came to us shortly after and asked us to take that over. So we did that, and this year they're going to start with dodgeball.
Oh, no, the dreaded dodgeball.
Yeah, that's going to be a new added sport this year. So.
Oh, man, I had fun doing dodgeball when I was a kid.
It'll be interesting.
All right. Yeah, you may have to have some waivers signed.
We do. So that's one of the things that Parks and Recreation did. We went with a new software program this year called Rec Desk. And it's a very, very convenient program. You can go online, you can create your own account, and then when you come in the office, we have a little signature pad, and with every single person that comes in, we have them sign a waiver. Those waivers are left on their accounts, and they don't have to do it every time that they sign up. So it's been very convenient. When I started with Parks and Rec 20 years ago, we did paper registrations, paper birth certificates, and, just stacks and stacks of paperwork. And, now everything is online, and we hardly have anyone that comes in and registers in person anymore.
Okay, well, when we come back, we'll talk about how people can register online, and we're going to talk about your master plan that's occupying a lot of your schedule these days.
It is.
Stay with us. We'll have more Coastline right after this.
I'm Joe Bogus, and I'm a volunteer with the Beaufort County Library System. For the past 7 years, I've been a board member, most recently a finance chair for the county library system. This has been a very rewarding and enriching experience, especially since I began my board term, during the height of the Great Recession, when we had very few books and very few visitors. But over time, the board and library leadership have managed to rebuild our finance so that we're spending more on materials now than ever before, and in a greater variety, both hard copy and digital. Growth in Beaufort County means that we have to carefully husband our resources, and this is where volunteers in the library do make a big difference. Susan and I have been here for 18 years, and we know the positive impact libraries can make in our community. Today's library is a new town hall full of vibrant mixture of programs and offerings. As a board member, I know firsthand the impact that we can make and how important it is to have people spend their time and talents on making Beaufort County a better place. This is our home, and this is why I make this investment in both my time and in my community. This very briefly is why I serve, and why I'm asking you to consider spending your time also for the Beaufort County Library. Thank you.
To see a listing of Beaufort County's agencies, boards, and commissions, or to fill out an application, visit www.beaufortcountysc.gov/boards and commissions.
Welcome back to Coastline. We're talking to Shannon Loper, who is the Beaufort County Director of the Parks and Recreation Department, and we've been talking about the various activities that are part and parcel of your department, the Burton Wells facility, the Buckwalter facility in Bluffton, and the Lynn Brown in the city of Beaufort. And of course, we talked before we went to the break about some of the different activities that are also available, be it soccer and dodgeball, as we mentioned, and I was also kickball was fascinating. Is that being done by kids or even adults these days?
That's our kickball program is all adults.
It's all adults.
Right before COVID, we had we put registration out for it and had over 20 teams register of adults. So
amazing.
It is a very large program.
Is that both north and south of the Broad?
So north of the Broad had a group that did kickball, and so when we started the kickball, we didn't offer it north of the Broad because they already had a group. Now I'm not sure if the group is still, doing it or not.
Mm-hmm.
They never contacted us about anything, so I'm not sure where they do it or who they register with.
Okay. Speaking of register, where do people find out all available options for Beaufort County recreation?
On
online?
Our website, it is bcscrec.com. or Beaufort County, South Carolina rec.com.
Okay, bcscrec.com.
That's it, yep.
Okay, ABCD, you got it.
Right.
bcscrec.com.
Yeah.
All right, and will that also list the various prices of?
It does. It lists. We have our forever calendar, which we have dates. So that was one of the things that I, can give Matt credit for when he came here. He wanted to set dates. So the same day every year we end registration. So it'll be like, say, the second Friday in February that one sport registration ends. Mm-hmm. So everybody's always got those dates. They can print that forever calendar and hang it on their refrigerator, and those dates will not change.
All right, good deal. And one of the things that I hope is already on your website is information about the master plan that you're working on.
So we have a little bit of information on it. The Wooden Partners is the group that's actually heading up the master plan, and they're creating their own website. So this website is something that is part of their contract that they do. You'll be able to go to our website and click on it. That'll take you to that website. But it'll have all the information on it, the surveys that go out. It'll have all the results of the surveys. It'll have the public meetings that are going to be had. So we'll have 4 public meetings. They will be held at Dale, Scott, Burton Wells, and one in south of the Broad at Buckwalter. And those dates are available on the website. Anybody that has sent me an email or called me over the last year that is interested in anything that, we've had people say that want BMX, or people that want us to create a remote control car park, just different things that people have come and asked. So any of those people, I have personally emailed them back. I kept a list of them and given them the dates of the meetings so that they can come out and participate.
So you're just getting really started on this.
We are. We actually, the next 2 days will be spent in the car taking this group to each and every one of the centers for them to take pictures, see the centers, where the locations are, ask us what's offered at the centers, what goes on at the centers, and all that'll go into a report that they'll work on.
Okay, so the idea of the master plan is to plan for the future.
Correct.
And maybe you can give me some idea of what you hope the end result will offer.
So my biggest thing is I hope the end result will offer, will give us ideas, will let people's voices be heard. That's the biggest thing that I've lectured to most of the people and told them, if you do not participate and you don't have a voice in it, don't come back and complain, because here's your time, here's your opportunity to say, this is what I want, this is what we need. Now, will we be able to satisfy everyone? No, you're never going to satisfy everybody. But, people come to us with things that, like when the guy came to me and he says, I would like to see a remote control car part. That's just something that's never been brought forward, has never even been thought of. Mm-hmm. So this is the time for people to really get out, really let their voices be heard, and talk about what they want to see. Our hashtag will be Play Beaufort County, South Carolina. And that's, it's going to be out there. We're going to, promote it as much as we can. It's a year-long process. But it's very important because, like I said, even after the public meetings, there'll be surveys that'll go out and people will be able to answer in the surveys if they can't make the meeting. We did decide that with each and every one of the meetings, because of COVID, we're going to do an in-person meeting, but we will also offer it as a Zoom meeting so that people that are not comfortable with coming to the meetings, that they still can participate with it.
Okay, so all the parks in Beaufort County also fall under your purview then.
Correct.
So
and the pools.
And I read an article a few weeks back about some group that was trying to get a mountain bike trail in a passive park, and I think the gist of the article said that it was really a passive park was not an ideal location, but perhaps one of the active parks might be. So would this group be perhaps one group that might approach the master plan and say, where can we put a mountain bike? I didn't even know we had any mountains in the Low Country, but
right. Well, that's one thing, and a lot of people that we need to get out, and we need to do a better job at putting our master plans out, because like the Buckwalter master plan, for instance, that master plan was approved. It's set, to what we are going to develop there. And we have the same thing with Burton Wells. That master plan's been approved. A lot of people don't realize at Burton Wells that we have a 18-hole disc golf course that's planned for there that we're in the process of working on now.
What kind of golf course?
Disc golf.
What's disc golf?
They have like baskets and you throw the Frisbees and try to get them in the baskets.
Oh, okay.
They're becoming very popular as well. Mm-hmm. So we do have that plan there. We have an 8-court pickleball complex that's planned for Burton Wells. We have a BMX bike section that's planned for Burton Wells. We have a lot of walking paths for bird watchers. Apparently they're very popular and they come here. Across the street at the pond, the future for that in the master plan is an RV park, as well as a zip line, a putt-putt, and a splash pad. So all those things have been approved. They're in the master plan. It's just funding, that's not gotten us to start with some of the stuff.
Okay, funding is always the dilemma, isn't it? Funding is
always the fun, yes.
So what do you think? Would you try and approach this with maybe a penny sales tax option, or perhaps some other type of fundraising?
Yeah, so some of it with the pickleball, we're in the process now. We were awarded state ATAX funding for that. We have applied for local ATAX funding for it, and that's kind of where we ended up with downtown tennis is we applied for local ATAX funding last year for downtown tennis, and we were awarded that. So we're fixing to remodel that complete facility downtown. But as far as the pickleball and Burton Wells, we hope each year that we can either apply for state or local ATAX, as well as we're working on a land and water conservation grant through the state for that facility. So we're going to keep applying for those. Some of that facility was built through the land and water, and so it kind of gives us a little bit of a advantage. Because they've already started with that land and water grant, so it may very well help us with getting more land and water.
This is the Burton Wells facility you're
Correct.
talking about? Yeah, well, there certainly is a lot of land out there that you can take advantage of.
There is. There's a lot of wetlands too, though. So, and that was, I guess, our biggest problem with Buckwalter is we had to redo the master plan there because the county was the last to draw the permit. And so all the housing around that particular location caused the wetlands to take over. So we lost a lot of that land out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, it really sounds like you've got a lot of things on your plate. Are you feeling like you're ready to pull your hair out?
Not really. You know, I'm excited about it. I think that it's going to be great, you know, to be able to get the community input. So I'm excited about it. You know, budget is budget. It's a yearly, you know, thing. You go in and hope that you can get more so that you can do more. And so, you know, not really. I think right now we're heading in the right direction, and I think things are looking good for us.
Well, it seems like, you know, an argument that you could offer your budget, you know, reviewers, overseers, which I guess is county council, is that, you know, this has been a tough couple of years, that people are feeling the anxiety of social distancing and all that. And now that things are beginning to open up, we need to kind of make it appealing, inviting, and, you know, give them some fun.
And I think council's been really good the last couple of years with most of our requests. So, you know, I've got that positive attitude that that's going to continue and that we'll be able to, you know, to bring more and offer more to the community.
Long range, and having looked at, I'm sure, other municipalities around the country, what would you love to see? One thing that you would love to see come to Beaufort County that we don't yet have?
Two things I'd love to see.
Okay.
So I would love to see a full-fledged Olympic-size aquatic center that would be centrally located. Instead of having the 3 small indoor pools, I'd love to see one huge, large aquatic center that we could bring, you know, a lot of swimming and to the area. And then I would love to see a large baseball complex. We thought that we had some land out on the parkway, and that didn't develop. So we're hoping to possibly that we may have found some more land and an 8-field complex to be able to bring in tournaments and offer more as far as even adult softball and, you know, youth baseball and other tournaments that we could bring into the area. We love bringing in tournaments, and we love bringing in, you know, money to the economy.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good selling point when you've got these tournaments. People come from all over, and we ought to get some of the money, not just Chattanooga. And,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Shannon, it's just been a real pleasure talking with you, and I think you did probably a better job than Matt would ever have.
I think I probably did too.
All right. Shannon Loper, who is with the Beaufort County Parks and Recreation Department, is their director. And next month, we hope to have Weston Newton from the State House of Representatives here on Coastline. We hope you'll join us then.